Ready? A one, a two, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Yay!
Cool.
Short and sweet.
All right. Welcome to another episode of the Elemental Strength podcast.
We have something here
We have something here.
from David Barros.
David Barris.
He's gifted us
What? Oh,
Single
you're
malt
kidding.
Scotch. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Actually, it's been a while
my-
since he gave this.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
just-
really?
I
it's
just
Christmas
remembered.
bag.
It's just
Guys!
sitting in the corner of my office, so...
Wait, this is like
I'll pass it around.
expensive stuff.
Yeah.
It
What a
looks really
G.
fancy.
What a G.
I feel the love.
My brother-in-law is like really into whiskey, and like I just recognized that this is a really good brand.
Can you
So
read the note?
he can. Sorry.
Can you read the note?
Oh, can someone hold it? It's really heavy. It says, "Oh, this is so nice. Oh, dear ESS, thank you for the trust and support. Much love, DB/Elevate. Oh, that's so
thank you.
nice.
Thank you, DB.
Aw.
Thank you.
DB. David Barros looks after a handful of our clients for rehab.
Oh, that's so,
So
nice.
definitely check him out if you're in need of an osteo. Thank you, David.
Anyway, guys, how are we being? How are we? How are we?
That's it.
I feel alright.
Yeah?
I feel better than last week.
Oh
For
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, you were like...
I was.
You couldn't decide if it's cold or hot.
I know. It's definitely colder now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was going through it last week.
Better now.
But I'm better. I feel better.
What about you, Tony? What's been happening in your life?
Same old. You know. We have the novice comp tomorrow, which I'm really excited for.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
So we're gonna quickly record this podcast and run to the gym and
Set up.
clean things up, and yeah, I'm excited.
Should be good.
It'll be good.
Just another week of trials and tribulations, I feel.
Agreed. But nothing that we can't do together.
Why are you just holding my hand, Vinny? Okay.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling hungry, but I'm feeling good.
Oh,
But you just-
hungry man. What? How much are you weighing now? Or,
My lowest ever weigh-in was 3 days ago. I was 71.8.
damn.
Damn. From starting weight?
Like 90?
Damn.
But I've been dieting since November, so.
Do you know what Jaden said last night? I'm gonna call him
Jaden?
out.
Jaden,
Yeah.
was he talking shit about me? Oh no.
He held up an old photo of you and he said to someone, he's like, "Can you believe this used to be Michael?" I was like, "Whoa!"
Whoa.
I was like, "What are you trying to say about Michael?" And he's like, "Nothing."
Oh man, I'm a program in like 10 by 10 or something.
Sorry, Jaden.
He meant it in a good way, though.
yeah,
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 I
because
guess
it's very
so, yeah.
impressive.
Yeah.
You know what you are now.
Wow.
Michael, you've been vlogging as well. You're training.
Yeah.
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 Where can people find that? Where can people find it?
It's not out yet. I'm still trying to document some stuff and, trying to make my first episode, but it's coming. It's coming out. So hopefully by next week or two, we can put an episode out. But I'm trying to record as much as I can so that I can make multiple episodes. So I'm not like rushed,
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Stay tuned, guys.
Cool.
Stage.
And I thought we should introduce little Russell over here.
Show your face,
He's a
Russell.
little guest of today. Go look at the
The
camera.
first ever guest
Oh yeah.
The first
Oh,
ever
yeah.
guest.
But he is with us because he's a little anxious boy. You're a little anxious boy, aren't you?
Should we
You're a
give
little
him a
anxious
mic?
boy.
Okay.
He won't talk though.
What if I...
Yeah.
You want to say something?
Russell.
Say, Rusty, sit. No, he's not going to sit for him. You're all right. Okay. Well, anyway, this is
Well-
Russell.
Well, last episode, guys, we didn't finish all the questions that we were given by our members. So maybe we could continue on with some of those questions.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we have a few questions that they sort of linked.
Yeah.
Okay. And it goes over a lot of
Yeah. Sort of like related to training and motivation, training and stress, recovery. So, how about today we'll discuss everything that is sort of related to motivation. Like, feeling burnt out, feeling, thriving within the process of powerlifting.
Exactly. The first question is from Angie. I think it would be cool to touch on the personal development and how that affects how you all show up to work. In other words, how you work on yourself so that you're the best version of yourself as a person, but also as business owners.
So this is more related to us.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we can begin with us and then our clients.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Thank you, Angie. I have an answer.
Yep, go for it.
I think something that helps is, well, especially since our business is a gym and we're coaches, I think being invested in our own training. I think there was a period of time, there still is a period of time where I'm sort of dealing with this weird phase where I'm like, my training's not that important. And people will sort of make jokes at the gym like, oh, you trained today? When was the last time you trained? Because the business took a priority and I wasn't really caring too much about my own training. So I think, I guess that's my answer. Just I'm finding my my why for training, and I think that's really helping.
I like that answer.
Yeah.
It's going to link to next topic, I feel.
But what are you doing for yourself, Viding? Viding, you're competing soon, so it kind of relates to what Tony's talking about as well.
But in terms of like personal development for like,
Mm.
showing up as a gym owner and
Mm.
I don't know. I think I'm actually struggling in that department a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just going about day by day, just doing whatever needs to be done for that day and not really not really checking in on myself.
I think
I think it's hard because when you run a business, things don't stop when you're feeling tired or burnt out or things just don't stop. So you kind of at the moment, the only coping mechanism I have is just to keep going.
Yeah.
I think the easiest way to remedy that then is to, if we're talking about coaching, I think the easiest way is to ask for feedback from your clients too. Because, for the longest time, you're the one giving feedback, right? But every now and then it'd be nice for them to give you feedback, right? And then reflect on that and, find ways, they are probably right because that's how they perceive your service. And you kind of have to find a way to adapt to certain individuals in the gym, right? And you need to be able to cater to how they want to be given that service. So I think that's a good start if you actually just seek for that feedback and then work on ways where you can tackle that. I think that's one way to do it. Other way is obviously setting time for an actual personal development time, I mean, like, just I know we are very limited with time right now, especially with a lot of things that we're doing outside. Um, you know, I think one thing I do, and maybe you can find your own version of this, but like whenever I'm doing my steps, I always have like a podcast on. I always have like an ebook sort of like playing in the background or something like that, to sort of like, you know, stimulate the brain a little bit more and question certain ideas I have in my head. I think that's one way of, that's my version of doing that.
Yeah, I do listen to podcasts on the way to the gym. I think that's like the time that I use for like, yeah, improving my coaching. I think I was going more like, how do I like keep showing up at the gym as like, I don't know, in a good mood, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it can be really difficult that way because you're not always in the best mood. And I guess like, how do you still be like a real positive and like bubbly or social person? Because sometimes it's not always like, you can't be 100% on all the time. And I find that part of like the personal development is really hard, like because it's hard to find time to be like, hey, I don't feel as motivated right now, or I'm feeling a little stressed out. Like, what can I do, or what can I what can I do to make myself feel better? I find that hard at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's fine. Like, you're human, you know, and it's something that we all need to work on. You know, I can't hide the fact that I'm hungry and easily irritated. And you know, we're humans. We're not perfect. We're not perfect like Tony. Tony's always
Yeah.
happy.
No, but I get what you're saying. There definitely is that pressure because of obviously you are a role model with the gym and you have clients that look up to you, and we pretty much we set the tone for how the gym is. And you're constantly wearing like different hats all the time, like you're a coach Vinny, your gym owner Vinny, and your athlete Vinny. And even when you are athlete Vinny, you've still got that coach owner Vinny hat on, and so the gym owner hat on and the coach hat on. So it's, yeah. No, I get what you mean. It's hard to sort of take off those hats. Yeah.
I guess it's just repetition work though, yeah? Like, you know, the more responsibilities we have to do, we just kind of have to, we have no choice but just to take it on and actually, you know, emerge into the stress, I guess. And then the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Right?
100%. Okay. Thank you, Angie, for that question. We have another question related by Kaylin. So would love to hear on how coaches help navigate athletes who lack lack of training drive. And how do you coaches how do you coach? Would love to hear on how do coaches help navigate athletes who lack training drive and burnout. Okay. Would love to hear on how coaches help Bro, this is so hard to read. Okay, next question is.
Can I read it?
Bro, please.
Would love to hear on how do you coaches help navigate athlete lack of training drive and burnout, plus some experiences with burnout, whether that be yourself or clients.
Thank you, Kevin.
I guess we started to touch on that already with that first question.
Let's just, we're talking about burnout in life or burnout in training?
I think in training, I think let's be specific.
Okay.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, we're not psychologists, right? But I think we need to understand a little bit of our client's psychology with the way we work with them.
Yeah.
For us, it's understanding motivation, right? And you hear the term get thrown around a lot, like you don't need motivation, you need discipline, and I partially agree, I partially disagree because I feel like they're just two terms that are different, right? I think like discipline is more in the lines of like punishment and reward type of thing. Like you just gotta do it. Like there's no real reason why you need to do it. I feel like there's always a motive when you're doing something. And motivation is the basic definition of motivation is your motive to do something. Like your reason to do something. Right? The why, right? Um and we kind of need to understand the level of motivation our client um is in. I think people sort of just see motivation as there's good motivation and bad motivation. There's intrinsic motivation and there's extrinsic motivation. But, there's a little bit more to that. And, it's extrinsic motivation doesn't necessarily mean bad motivation. I feel like if we go into like the more like intricate details of it, there's four kinds of extrinsic motivation, right? So I would categorize them into two: good extrinsic motivation and two bad extrinsic motivation. So the first one is external regulators, right? So this is where you're seeking for that reward at the end, right? So I'm gonna train so I can eat chocolates, right? So you have an external reward there. I'm gonna train so I can win a medal, right? And then the next thing is introjected, which is kind of like, and this is very common, right? How often do you feel like your clients are there and they're saying sorry to you because they feel like they've disappointed you, right? So to them, it's like an introjected motivation. It's like, oh, I need to do all my accessories because my coach is gonna be disappointed at me,
Right.
right? Or like I need to go to the gym because otherwise my partner doesn't like think I'm fat or something like that. You know what I mean? So it's introjected. You're doing it to please other people, right? So that's introjected motivation. And then, so those are the two bad ones, right? I would categorize kind of bad. And then the next one is identified regulators, which is like you're doing something because it is important to you. So, it is important to me to eat vegetables because I know it's important to me to be healthy, right? It's important for me to go to the gym because it's important for me to feel strong and to feel healthy. And then the last one is kind of similar to intrinsic motivation. It's called integrated regulators, which is pretty much you are kind of doing something because it aligns with your core values, right? You value strength so much that you think this is something that you need to do, right? So it's almost the same as intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation, you're just doing it because you love it, right? Like I just love lifting. I don't need a reason to do it. So I think we can sort of like align our clients where do they sit in terms of their motivation, and then we can find approaches to work with them.
Right.
So in that case, like how do you feel like what approaches would you sort of like do if someone is sort of like leaning more towards just like those external motivators, like if I'm just here to get a squat record, rather than like people that would train just for the sake of training, like the love of training.
Would you want to shift them to the other one, or would you sort of feed that a little?
I don't know. What's your approach?
Well, if they want to if they have like goals in mind where they want to hit specific numbers and stuff, we'll definitely work towards that, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You never want to be limiting
Mm.
your athlete's ability. But I think it sometimes could lead, like if you don't frame their goals after that, you know, that's when motivation becomes a little bit low, or they can be demotivated, especially if they don't hit that goal. You know what I mean? What then can you do?
I think it's good to have like a mixture of both, especially if you're someone who leans like very extrinsically motivated or like or even very intrinsically motivated. I think particularly those who are very extrinsically motivated, like you said, when they don't hit that goal, they can feel like they failed and get demotivated. But I think if you go back to, okay, what are the other reasons that I want to do this sport, and try and, I guess, widen your view of and kind of explore your own motivation into why you want to keep going, because yeah, it can be really hard to keep yourself on track when those really big goals aren't met. I think it's also important to maybe break down your goals a little bit. You talk about like having short-term and long-term goals. Obviously, having something like a squat record or whatever record is a pretty long-term goal, right? But I think it's really important that you set like mini goals along the way, because that's how it keeps you going like throughout the whole process. And even if at the end you don't achieve that really big goal, you know that along the way you've done everything that you could to put yourself in the best position to try and achieve that goal. And you can still look back and be satisfied and be proud of all the things that you have achieved, instead of just that one thing that you didn't achieve.
That's great. Yeah. Totally agree. Yeah, you can always sort of like shift someone's perspective, right? Like, and I think, you know, feeling, if they feel as though they're only at the gym for one purpose and one purpose only, it can be a little bit dangerous. And I think I've spoken to a couple of people in the gym about this stuff, where they only see their success in powerlifting through their performance. Because I've mentioned a few things with them, and you know, I think I sort of, not like, you know, to inflate them or anything like that, but I definitely see a lot of potential with our young juniors, right? And I started talking about how much of an impact they can install to the newer people, right? Because obviously they've been lifting for more than a year now. They are now starting to transition into the like upper level of their lifting, like, you know, the next level, right? And this is when they can maybe have a little bit more of a different purpose when they come to the gym. Maybe start being a role model, kind of like what you were doing with, you know, you're now trying to show your clients that, look, I'm training as well, and I'm training properly. I'm training with intent, right? And being being a good role model for them, not necessarily coaching them or anything like that, just, you know, it sort of empowers them to do better themselves as well. So, you know, that's another why in their training, right? It's not just the outcome, it's like how they influence the people around. Because I think at the end of the day, a lot of people, including us, we owe something to powerlifting.
Of course.
We won't have a business without for powerlifting. Without powerlifting, we won't have these relationships that we've built, right? So it's only right for us to actually give back and to influence the next generation to be a little bit better, and, you know, to show them how they can be better, right?
So advice to athletes that are feeling burnout in training? Final words?
I think it's totally normal to feel burnt out by something as well. Like, we're not here to be like, oh, you should always be motivated or find the motivation to train, because, you know, be.
I do think it's our job to keep them motivated though. I think it's
Yeah,
yeah.
well,
Like I think we try as much as possible not to burn them out. I think if they are burnt out, um, I do feel like it's just reframing something. I feel like it's reframing goals. It's reframing, um, how you want to look at life or training or whatever. Um, but yeah, like you were saying, it's okay to feel demotivated. Um, but in terms of like what you need to do, it's just a shift of perspective. Yeah.
Thanks for the awesome question, Kaylin. Our next question, this one's a juicy one. This one's by Gino. I would like to hear about building mental toughness, especially when there is competition in hand. How does one separate himself from just a good powerlifter to a great/elite level? I had first-hand experience with it recently and would like that to be talked about, as I think the mental side of powerlifting is half the battle. Do you guys agree with that? Mental side of powerlifting is half the battle?
Yeah, I agree. You could look at it from the long term and short term. Like short term, thinking in competition and within training, if you're doing a challenging single or whatever. And the long term is just really trying to go through the motions. Everyone keeps saying powerlifting is boring because it's repetitive. And how do you build mental resilience from that? I'm interested on your take on this question, you guys.
how do you, because I feel like you have had, some head-to-heads, in your recent powerlifting competitions.
Yeah.
So what are some like strategies, or what are some of the things that you do that you help you cope with the pressure to compete, I guess?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. Like mental toughness is just the ability to compose yourself under pressure. I think it's I don't know where I read this quote from, but pressure is privilege. Like I think that's something that I try to tell myself.
It's Michael Jordan.
Is it Michael Jordan? Shout out to Michael Jordan if you're watching this. Yeah, pressure is privilege. Like it's such a powerful way to just flip the narrative where first you're in this situation, you're feeling really overwhelmed. There's got so many things you have to think about, executing right. What happens if I screw this up, or what happens if I make a mistake, or what happens if the other person's stronger than me, or all this stuff. All these things can make you feel really overwhelmed. And then there's you all of a sudden, when you put into the perspective of pressure being privilege, like, yeah, I'm in this head to head and I'm in this high pressure environment because I've earned my right to be among the best. So this is a privilege. Like I've worked so hard to be here, and this is my opportunity to grow and to learn from this and to shine. I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I think, and you can probably expand on this, Vinny, because I feel like this is quite relevant to, things that we were talking about in the gym and, things that we were saying to your athletes. It's a common term to throw around now, like, you need to lock in, right? And what does it actually mean to lock in? Because I feel like sometimes it is a little bit more, for them, it's just like a change of demeanor. But I feel like, we can elaborate on what we kind of want you to do when you lock in into your training. Yeah.
I think when we're talking about locking in, it's about like actually being in tune with your training and not just like going through the motions and like getting to your top set and then being like, oh yeah, I need to switch on now.
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot more before all of that happens. So much information that you can give yourself before you get to your top set, enable to execute the best that you can when you get there. It's about like actually feeling what you're trying to actually feel what your body is doing
Yeah.
and not just like doing it and then looking at your coach and being like and getting like, was that good or not? It's like, well, it was good, but why was it good then? Like, because at the end of the day, I'm not in your body. Like, I can tell you what I want you to do, what position I want you to be in, but like, how does it feel for you? Because that feeling is what you have to remember for the next time you do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it talks about like how we could talk about like how we usually give you the feedback in terms of what we see things, but you locking in, you should be able to give us some feedback with how you felt with your set, with how, like that's actually information that we can work with so that we can enhance the process of coaching, right? And yeah, because I feel like sometimes what's an example of like a misconception of someone locking in? They come to the gym,
Headphones on.
they don't talk to anyone. It's like their definition of locking in is not yapping, right?
Like the antonyms.
But they have nothing to do with locking in. Like I think you can definitely interact with the people around you. In fact, if you're interacting with the people around you, you're kind of more in the zone. You're kind of more present within the moment. So I think being present within the moment, you're not trying to be in autopilot, I guess. Yeah.
100%. So, any advice? Final advice for?
I think those are great.
On a more like personal, less scientific thing, I definitely feel like over the years, you almost create like an alter ego for yourself. Like, and I think I've kind of developed this even before powerlifting and kind of carried it into powerlifting, but I kind of just I try and like be in the mindset of someone who is 100% confident, who knows she's not going to fail. And just all these like, traits that you would want in an elite athlete, basically. And you kind of just pretend that you are this person, even if you don't feel like you are, but you kind of just try and embody that. And then, yeah, that's why like, you get to a third attempt and it's like a big PB and you've never touched this weight before. It's like, yeah, you've never touched the weight before. So like be someone else that has, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, trick yourself into thinking that you're not this person that's only ever deadlifted this much. But, I don't know. There's something mentally in that I've found useful over the years, I guess.
Yeah. And I think this is something that you encourage with me as well when you were coaching me, and you would say like, I'm a 180 bencher. Like this weight shouldn't be, I shouldn't be scared of 160 or 165 or something, because I thought that was my limit. And then when you would push that, I am a 180 bencher, I would tell myself I'm a 180 bencher. And I would act as if I wasn't 180 bencher, so I wasn't like tempoing it down as if I was really scared. Of like when I got to my second or third attempts and stuff, I was a little bit more, like you said, like a lot more confident on the platform.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Sometimes you have to gaslight yourself.
Yeah, legit.
To an extent, obviously, like, you don't fool yourself into thinking you're like a world champion or anything, but like just enough.
Yeah, just enough.
To give yourself a bit of a push. And to just block out like the external pressure as well. Like if you're competing against someone, it's like, whatever they're doing is what they're doing. You have no control over what they're going to do. You can only be in control of what you can do. So like stressing over what someone else is going to do for their next attempt, whatever, like that's not your, like don't worry about that, because that's nothing you can control.
Right. So control the controllables. Ooh.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys. What's something that maybe we could talk about performance and business side of things too. Are there things that people say that can sometimes discourage you or make you feel unmotivated? Like, because I know sometimes people are fired up if there's a lot of doubt on them. Like, oh, this guy's never going to make it. And then all of a sudden they're like, you know, they rise through the occasion and they beat everyone else, right? I know some people are wired like that. Some people get discouraged by that. Where do you sit?
It depends on who says it. Like if it's someone like, this is gonna sound really cocky, but it's someone like on my level, and they're saying that, I wouldn't care too much. If it's someone like below my level, I wouldn't care. But if it's someone like who I look up to and they're like saying that, I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It would affect me.
But like, who's punching down? Like,
But then like, won't you just let like, I'm fucking prove you wrong, bitch.
I'm a bit sensitive. I'm a sensitive boy.
Yeah.
but also like, why? Like, if they are up there, like, why do they care like what you do down there?
Well-
that it just means that they're threatened. Like,
Yeah,
that
Yeah,
you-
but I feel like, to me, honestly, that makes me ruthless. Like, fuck, this guy said that I'm not gonna be able to make it. I'll show you. Like, you know, that I think, you know, you could say that's a little bit toxic, but I feel like I owe a lot of my success to that toxicity, I guess.
Oh, the haters.
Yeah.
Thank you.
shout out to my haters.
Yeah.
Got a lot of them, huh?
Sitting next to them.
I'm Michael's number one hater.
I'm a words of affirmation guy. So obviously words mean a lot to me. But the thing is, words mean a lot to me I think to your point, like to the people that I care about, right? If you guys say something to me, you know, obviously take into account a little bit more because, you know, you're a lot closer to me. But if someone like someone from the comment section, I almost just laugh about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Speaking of,
there were.
Wait,
so-
what? Is this not a
Segue.
segue? This is your segue this whole time.
what do you mean?
Oh.
It was just
Coincidence.
natural.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so
It
natural.
just led to.
Yeah, very natural, very natural.
Wow.
No, it was smooth. It was
She's
I said number one hater, right? Yeah.
she's a hater, man. She's a hater.
So Squat University, if you guys aren't familiar, it's an account that, I mean, how many followers do they have? They've got 4 million followers, this account, and it's a sports and fitness instruction channel. And these guys reposted, it's at 725K, and they posted this morning. And
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's popping off. It's almost at 1 mil, and it's like not even, and it's been like,
Oh
what,
my
4 hours?
god.
Crazy. So
Okay, guys, okay, guys,
talk to us.
Michael will appreciate this words of affirmation. It was actually Michael's video idea to do it.
But I need acting lessons, apparently.
Yeah. Anyway, it was Michael's idea, and like this was back when I was posting on TikTok like a lot, like almost every day. And then I didn't have a TikTok to post, and this was sitting in my drafts for ages. Like we'd filmed it ages ago, and I was like, all right, well, I'll just post this today.
Yeah.
And it just like went off, and I was like, oh, I don't think this video I didn't want this much. Like, it was
The
a lot of
time-
unwanted attention.
Yeah,
Like,
the time I had programmed you 140, I'm like, you're not going to load this powerlifting way. We're going to load it bumper way.
I think
you
it
know?
was like per week or something.
Yeah,
like, I
'cause
think
you-
I was
I
gonna.
think you recently did 140 for like a set of 4 or something
No,
like
no,
that.
no, no.
Was that...
No, it was before that. It was. I think it was taper week before I was gonna test before I went on holiday.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
And yeah, and it was sitting in my drafts for ages because I think I posted it after I came back from holiday as well, and I just had nothing to post. So I was like, oh, I'll just post this, and went crazy. And like yeah, some of the comments are just wild. There's so many butthurt people.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Like in the time we were talking about it just now, it's just gained another 2K views.
Yeah, wild.
Anyway, so shall I read some of the comments?
Go for it.
Okay, so so Akbas says the guy with the all name brand accessories needs some acting classes.
Which is me, because I'm
That's
wearing
fine.
Rogue,
Yeah.
I'm wearing
What's
SVD, I'm
wrong
wearing
with
Nike.
your own brand name
Yeah.
accessories?
Yeah.
He's like saying it like as if it's like Louis Vuitton and like Rogue and
Like
SVD.
designer brand.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, like 20% of these comments were really encouraging. Like, wow, she's really,
Yeah.
really
Yeah, there are
strong
not.
and-
There are like
The
Cool
thing that
comment.
makes me laugh the most is, you know, how it was staged.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Everyone,
you know,
yeah.
the internet is so stuffed up because, you know, content like this is just like stage and that it's all for the clout. But it's just like three friends like fucking, you know, making
Yeah.
videos. It's
They
like
made a
it's actually
stupid video.
we did not want it to make it that
No.
popular, and also
And I definitely didn't need like all these men being like, I can deadlift more than you.
Yeah, wild.
And I think that's what's fucked up with the internet.
Yeah, that's
More
what's
than
fucked
people
up.
creating that content. Like I feel like that the freedom to create content like that is fine, but people commenting and putting the effort to actually.
Put her down.
Yeah. No, but I think you know what? It's great entertainment too.
It is
I
entertainment for us.
really love reading these.
I got
comments.
like, there was a feet comment in there. I don't know if you
Seen
seen it.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
They were like,
second-
what? They were like, what's her IG for feet pics or something? I was like,
Bro,
Bro.
how they're
bro,
wild.
that's the wrong website, bro.
They're wild for that. Yeah, some of y'all need
Need help.
help.
Yeah.
Man.
Hey, actually, if you have a foot fetish, you know, it's whatever.
Yeah, we're
To
not
each
going
their
young.
own.
We're
We're not
going young.
judging.
But
But maybe just don't ask like a random person on the
yeah,
internet for their
in
feet
comment
pics.
section.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Damn.
Yeah, but like there were a lot of guys that were really insecure about this. Like,
From a guy perspective, what is it? Why?
like why would you need to do that?
Yeah, why? Why? I don't
know.
understand.
You know, my first goal in powerlifting was
3 plate.
no to beat Liz Craven's total
Ayo.
Oh,
because
What
I was a
was-
weak powerlifter
yeah.
What was her total? That you had to
at
beat?
52, and I was freaking 74 kilos.
Yeah,
She's very
Yeah.
strong.
it's strong.
Yeah, so that was my first goal in powerlifting. Like I want to
Mm,
be someone else's weight class.
yeah. Too funny. Anyway, if anyone is wondering of the impact of that video, absolutely nothing. Like,
Yeah.
if you're thinking I'm like rolling in it, like,
Yeah.
nah, that's absolutely nothing.
If you're concerned about my mental health because of the things that they're saying to me, it's okay. It's okay. If it's coming from these guys, like, I'd be hurt. But if it's coming from them, like,
Completely unaffected.
come at me, bro.
It's also the comments of people who think they're really smart and they're like, you know, if he was wearing the right shoes, he would have got
Oh
out.
my god, yeah. Oh my god, wait, I just
It's
saw
like,
that. So
Oh my god.
dude messed up the instant he tried lifting it conventional. Should have pulled sumo so he could let the legs do all the work and lift 3 tons like folks to overload the leg press machine. What the hell, y'all experts?
Experts,
This is
bro.
crazy. Internet is
Yeah.
actually
I need some lifting
weird
lessons
place.
too. Hey.
Yeah, actually, man. Let me know if you need a coach. We'll see you guys in the next episode.
Yep. Stay in your element.
Peace.
Bye.